I like to believe, I call myself a product of grace, right? I like to believe, and actually my whole recruitment process and how I got into MTN makes me believe that the job was waiting for me.
Really?
Yes.
You want to share how it happened? I'm curious.
No. So I got a call from, I think then it was one of my auditors asking for my CV. And I said, what do you want my CV for? I hadn't brushed up my CV in a long time.
Okay.
But he said, oh, it's an exciting role. I said, well, did I tell you I was looking for a role?
So you are not looking?
I wasn't looking.
Okay.
And eventually, he was a personal friend, so I gave my CV to him. And he says, okay, it's MTN. I was like, oh, okay, MTN, that could be interesting. So I gave him my CV. I didn't hear anything from them. And then I got a call from somebody else. MTN are looking for your CV. I'm like, huh? Okay. I gave it to that person. Then I got a call from a headhunter from Kenya.
Okay.
And said, I saw your profile. I think you'd be great for a role that I have. I said, what role is it? He said, MTN. I said, I don't think they want me. He said, give it to me anyway. So I gave it to him. Then I got a call from a headhunter from the US.
Oh, dear.
Believe you me, no less than 10 headhunters called me about the MTN
serious?
role. And I still didn't get called for an interview. Then one day,
Yeah.
the very first person to call me said, oh, they want to have a chat with you. And I said, okay. So I had a chat with them, with their chief HR officer. And then after we spoke, she called back and said, oh, my CEO wants to speak to you. I said, okay.
Now this is
this is getting
interesting, yeah?
And it was short notice. So I said, okay, let me speak to you. So I didn't prepare nothing. I spoke to the CEO. Then the following day, I got a call. My CEO's boss wants to speak to you. I was like, okay.
The CEO's boss.
So then I realized I had progressed through the process. It was a chat. So
Wait,
I didn't
and
even
all
think.
along, this wasn't even like, okay, we want to interview you.
No,
Was it like,
I thought
I
it
want to
was
chat with you.
yeah. Until the CEO's boss. Then his was like an interview, and
Okay.
it was a tough one. I was in an air-conditioned room and I was sweating.
Oh, dear.
But we had the conversation. I thought, okay, they're definitely not calling me back. Then guess what? I got an email. Oh, the group CFO wants to speak to you. I said, okay. Then I started getting more confident at that point.
Yeah.
But I spoke to the group CFO, and then I didn't hear from them for maybe 3 months. And I bumped into the chief HR officer at a funeral, and she said, oh, you'll hear from us. I'm like, oh, I've forgotten about you people. I've moved on. She says, no. Then a few weeks later, they call and said, actually, you have the role.
Wow.
So let's talk money.
Oh, dear.
And I thought, oh, wow. And I wasn't sure. To tell you the truth, I went through the process, but I wasn't sure I wanted to move, right? I was intrigued about the whole fintech story.
Okay.
Of course, I was in banking.
Yeah.
And the fintech story was great, the way it was exciting. And then I thought, okay, I have transferable skills. Let's see how I can move that in an evolving in industry context, right?
Yeah.
Let's see how I can transfer my skills into another industry. But then when I had to make the decision, it was a tough one because I had prospects in my role.
Yeah.
I was comfortable. I think I actually had a secondment opportunity lined up, and I thought, should I go? Should I not go? I had to think, where would I be in the next 3 years if I go, if I don't go? And actually, my husband pulled up a sheet of paper and he said, okay, pros, cons, now list. And I was like, huh, do we have to do this? But I did. And he said, I just want to make sure you're sure.
Yeah.
Eventually, I decided to take the leap, and I haven't regretted the decision.